The rain-slicked streets of Portland gleamed under the sodium lamps as Alex slammed the car door, his heart pounding like it had just outrun a freight train. He'd driven straight from the airport, ignoring the voicemail from his best friend Mia that said simply, "Don't do anything stupid." But stupid was all he knew anymore, especially after catching Jordan kissing that guy in the back booth of their favorite dive bar, the one where they'd shared their first fake date 3 months ago. In that split second, Alex realized the pretend part of their summer romance had shattered for him long before tonight. And now, standing outside Jordan's apartment building at midnight, he wasn't sure if he was there to fight for what never was or to burn it all down. Alex's fingers trembled as he buzzed the intercom, the static crackle mirroring the storm in his chest. Jordan's voice came through, sleepy and surprised. "Alex? It's after midnight, man. Everything okay?" No, nothing was okay, but Alex shoved the words down, muttering something about needing to talk. The door clicked open, and he took the stairs 2 at a time, each step echoing the accusations building in his throat. By the time he reached the third-floor landing, Jordan was there in the doorway, hair rumpled from sleep, wearing nothing but gray sweatpants that hung low on his hips, his bare chest rising and falling with that easy confidence that always made Alex feel exposed. "Jesus, you look like hell," Jordan said, stepping aside to let him in. The apartment smelled like fresh coffee grounds and the faint citrus of Jordan's cologne, a scent that had haunted Alex's dreams for weeks. Alex paced the living room, avoiding the couch where they'd binge-watched old rom-coms under the guise of practicing couple vibes. He stopped at the window, staring out at the blurred city lights, willing his voice to stay steady. "I saw you. At the Rusty Anchor. With him." The words hung heavy, and Jordan's silence stretched like a rubber band about to snap. Jordan leaned against the kitchen counter, crossing his arms, his green eyes narrowing in that way that said he was piecing it together faster than Alex could regret spilling. "Saw me with who?" But he knew. Alex could see it in the flicker of guilt, the way his jaw tightened just a fraction. "Look, it was nothing. A guy from work. We were just talking with your tongue down his throat." Alex whipped around, heat flooding his face. The room felt too small, the air thick with the unsaid truths they'd buried under layers of fake affection. Jordan pushed off the counter, closing the distance in 2 strides, his hand reaching out to grip Alex's shoulder. "It wasn't like that. You're blowing this out of proportion because you're jealous." "Jealous." The word landed like a slap, igniting something raw and unfiltered in Alex. He shrugged off Jordan's touch, laughing bitterly. "Jealous? Of what exactly?" "Our little game. The one where we pretend to be boyfriends so you can make your ex jealous and I can dodge questions from my family about why I'm still single at 25. It was all out now, the ugly underbelly of their arrangement spilling onto the worn hardwood floor. Jordan's face paled, but he didn't back down. "It stopped being pretend for me, Alex. A while ago. Didn't you notice?" Alex's breath caught, the room spinning as memories crashed in. Jordan's hand lingering too long on his lower back at that beach bonfire. The way he'd cancel plans with friends to drive Alex home after late shifts at the coffee shop. The quiet mornings where Jordan would make pancakes shaped like hearts, claiming it was for the aesthetic. Alex had chalked it up to method acting, Jordan's theater kid flair turning their farce into something almost believable. But now, staring into those earnest eyes, Alex wondered if he'd been the blind one all along. "You can't just say that now," he whispered, voice cracking. "Not after I see you with someone else." Jordan's hand found Alex's again, this time not letting go. "Then tell me to stop. Tell me this is over, and I'll walk away. But if you feel even half of what I do, stay. Fight for it. For real this time." The ultimatum hung between them, heavier than the rain pattering against the window. Alex's mind raced. Mia would kill him for this. His conservative parents back in Seattle would disown him twice over if they knew the truth about his phase. And the knot of fear in his gut whispered that real feelings meant real heartbreak. But as Jordan's thumb traced slow circles on his wrist, Alex felt the pretend walls crumble, and in their place, something terrifyingly honest bloomed. They talked until dawn, words tumbling out like confessions in a confessional booth. Jordan admitted the kiss had been a stupid rebound, a knee-jerk reaction to hearing Alex laugh too freely with that barista at work, the one with the easy smile and zero baggage. I thought if I could feel something with someone else, it'd prove this was all fake, Jordan said, his voice rough from lack of sleep. But it wasn't. It just made everything worse. Alex shared his own fears, the ones he'd buried under sarcasm and late-night runs along the Willamette River. Growing up in a house where gay was a punchline, not a possibility, and how pretending with Jordan had been the closest he'd come to feeling seen without the terror of judgment. By the time the sun crested the horizon, painting the apartment in soft pinks and golds, they'd agreed to try, for real. No more games, no exes lurking in the shadows. Jordan pulled Alex into a hug that lingered, their heartbeats sinking in a rhythm that felt like the start of something unbreakable. But as Alex left for his shift, stealing one last kiss in the hallway, soft, tentative, real, he couldn't shake the nagging doubt. What if the world outside these walls wasn't ready for them? What if the prejudices they'd joked about turned into barriers they couldn't cross? The first week of real dating was a whirlwind of stolen moments and electric tension. Jordan showed up at Alex's coffee shop with a bouquet of wildflowers he'd picked from the side of the highway, grinning like a kid who'd aced a test. "For my boyfriend," he said loudly enough for the line of customers to hear, and Alex's cheeks burned, but in the best way. They wandered the Saturday market hand in hand, sampling artisanal cheeses and dodging tourists, Jordan's laughter cutting through the crowd like sunlight. At night, they'd curl up on Alex's lumpy futon, trading stories about their dreams, Jordan's aspirations to direct indie films that tackled queer stories head-on, Alex's quiet hope of opening his own bookstore where every shelf told a tale of acceptance. But cracks appeared early, subtle as hairline fractures in glass. Mia, Alex's rock since freshman year at Portland State, pulled him aside after their first group hangout at a rooftop bar. "He's intense, Alex. Like, all in intense. You sure you're ready for that?" She sipped her gin and tonic, her dark eyes scanning the crowd where Jordan was charming a group of strangers with an impromptu story about their meet-cute at a pride rally. Embellished, of course, to hide the truth. Alex shrugged, forcing a smile. "It's good. Scary but good." Mia wasn't convinced. She'd seen Alex's walls up before. The way he'd ghost dates after one too many, "you're too much" comments from guys who couldn't handle his quiet depth. Then there was Jordan's family. His parents, visiting from Eugene for a weekend, insisted on a dinner at their Airbnb. Alex met them with sweaty palms and a rehearsed backstory, but Jordan's mom, a sharp-eyed librarian with a penchant for passive-aggressive barbs, zeroed in immediately. "So, Alex, what do you do? Besides entertaining my son?" The words dripped with implication, her gaze flicking to their joined hands under the table. Jordan squeezed Alex's knee, jumping in with tales of Alex's barista artistry, but the damage was done. Later, in the car, Jordan fumed. "She's just old school. It'll pass." Alex nodded, but the sting lingered, a reminder that love didn't exist in a vacuum. As July bled into August, the summer heat mirrored the rising stakes. They escaped to the Oregon coast for a weekend, renting a tiny cabin in Cannon Beach where the waves crashed like applause. There, away from prying eyes, they let the romance unfold without pretense. Lazy mornings in bed, Jordan sketching Alex's profile in charcoal while the fog rolled in, evening walks where they'd stop to kiss against driftwood logs, the salt air tangling in their breaths. It was perfect, almost too much so, and that's when the first real conflict erupted. It started with a phone call from Jordan's ex, Tyler, the one their fake dating was meant to spite. Tyler, now reformed and ready to talk, showed up unannounced at the cabin, all remorseful eyes and designer stubble. "I miss you, Jord. We were good together." Alex, eavesdropping from the kitchen, felt his stomach twist. He wanted to storm out, declare the weekend ruined, but instead, he waited, heart hammering, until Jordan shut the door firmly. "He's history," Jordan said, pulling Alex close. "You're my now, my future." They made love to the sound of the tide that night, not frantic, but slow and reverent, bodies moving in sync with the rhythm of the sea. But in the quiet aftermath, Alex lay awake, tracing the scars on Jordan's back from a childhood accident, wondering if Tyler's shadow would always loom. Back in Portland, the misunderstandings piled up like storm clouds. Alex's co-worker, Liam, a sweet, openly gay graphic designer with a crush that bordered on obvious, started lingering after shifts, offering to cover Alex's tables so they could chat about art exhibits downtown. It was innocent, or so Alex thought, until Jordan walked in early one evening and caught the tail end of Liam's hand on Alex's arm, a laugh shared over a spilled latte. "Who's that?" Jordan asked later, voice tight as they walked home through the humid dusk. Alex explained, but the seed of doubt had been planted. "Just a friend," he insisted, but Jordan's eyes darkened. "Friends don't look at you like that." The argument that followed was their first real one, voices rising in the stairwell until neighbors peeked out. "You're paranoid," Alex shouted, the word echoing his own buried insecurities. "And you're naive," Jordan shot back. "You think the world's as kind as you want it to be? People take what they want, Alex. I won't lose you to some pretty boy who doesn't know your favorite Bob Dylan track." It ended in slammed doors and silent treatments, Alex crashing at Mia's with tear-streaked cheeks. She held him as he vented, her words a lifeline. "Talk to him. Really talk. Or this real thing you're chasing will end up faker than the pretend." Reconciliation came in the form of a peace offering. Jordan at Mia's door the next morning with her favorite croissants and a handwritten note for Alex. "I'm sorry. Fear makes me stupid. Let's do this right." They spent the day at Washington Park, wandering the rose gardens, hands intertwined as Jordan opened up about his own prejudices, not from family, but from within. "I grew up thinking love like this was temporary, a phase. Theater was my escape, but even there, directors typecast me as the tragic queer sidekick. With you, I want the leading role. Both of us." Alex listened, the petals brushing their ankles like whispers of forgiveness, and for the first time, he believed they could rewrite the script. But summer has a way of turning on you, and August brought the prejudices crashing in like a rogue wave. Jordan's theater troupe announced auditions for a new play, a gritty drama about queer youth in the 90s, and he landed the lead, a character whose arc mirrored their own, a boy faking normalcy until love forces him to claim it. Rehearsals consumed him, late nights at the community center where the director, a flamboyant veteran named Raul, pushed boundaries with improv scenes that blurred lines between stage and self. Alex supported it, attending run-throughs with Mia, cheering from the back row. But whispers started, cast members side-eyeing Jordan's real-life boyfriend, implying his casting was a diversity checkbox, not merit. One night, after a particularly grueling rehearsal, Jordan came home reeking of craft beer and defeat. "They think I'm riding your coattails or something. Like I'm not talented, just token." Alex pulled him onto the couch, rubbing his back. "Screw them. You're brilliant." But the doubt festered, manifesting in Jordan's growing distance, snapping at Alex's suggestions, canceling date nights for line runs. Alex felt it like a slow bleed, the romance they'd built eroding under external pressures. The breaking point came at the troupe's pre-preview party, a backyard bash in southeast Portland, where fairy lights strung between maple trees cast a deceptive glow. Alex arrived late, fresh from a double shift, to find Jordan deep in conversation with Raul, their heads bent close, laughter spilling out. It was professional, Alex knew, but in the haze of exhaustion and insecurity, it looked like flirtation. He downed a plastic cup of sangria, the alcohol loosening the knot in his chest, and when Jordan finally spotted him, pulling him into a hug, Alex couldn't hold back. "Having fun without me." The words came out sharper than intended, laced with accusation. Jordan's brow furrowed. "What? No, babe, it's just shop talk." But the babe felt patronizing in the moment, and Alex pulled away, weaving through the crowd to Mia's side. She was chatting with Liam, great, just great, and shot Alex a concerned look. "You okay?" He wasn't. The party blurred into a montage of forced smiles and stolen glances, culminating in a hushed argument by the fire pit. "You don't trust me," Jordan hissed, flames dancing in his eyes. "After everything?" Alex's voice broke. "How can I when you're pulling away? This play, Raul, it's like I'm the side character now." The fight escalated, words flying like sparks. Jordan accusing Alex of projecting his family hang-ups, Alex retorting that Jordan's intensity was suffocating. Heads turned, whispers rippling through the group like a bad review. Raul intervened, clapping Jordan on the back with a too familiar ease. "Easy, kid. Art stirs the pot." That was the match. Alex stormed out, hailing a lift in the humid night air, tears hot on his cheeks. Back at his apartment, he scrolled through old texts. Their first fake flirty exchange, Jordan's heart emoji after a real kiss, and wondered if they'd ever been on the same page. Days turned into a Cold War. Jordan threw himself into rehearsals, channeling the pain into his performance, while Alex, buried in work, Mia's pep talks his only buoy. "Prejudice isn't just strangers," she said one afternoon over iced lattes at her gallery job. "It's the fear we carry. Talk to him before it's too late." But pride kept Alex silent, until the preview night loomed, a week away. He bought a ticket anyway, sitting in the shadows of the Black Box Theater, heart in his throat as the lights dimmed. The play was raw, unflinching, a tapestry of stolen glances and societal shoves, the lead character's journey from pretense to passion hitting too close to home. Jordan owned the stage, his voice cracking on lines about love's fragility, eyes glistening under the spotlights. In the climax, as his character confronted a lover's doubt, Jordan's gaze found Alex in the crowd, holding it like a lifeline. The applause was thunderous, but Alex slipped out during bows, overwhelmed. Outside, under a canopy of stars, Jordan caught up, breathless. "You came." Alex turned, the distance between them feeling infinite. "I had to see it." "See you." What followed was a torrent. Apologies layered over fears, Jordan admitting Raoul's mentorship had stirred old patterns of seeking validation, Alex confessing his terror of being the experiment. They stood there, vulnerable in the alley's dim light, until Jordan cupped Alex's face. "No more pretending. No more half measures. I love you, Alex. Messy, real, all of it." The words unlocked something, and Alex pulled him in, their kiss fierce and forgiving, the city's hum fading to nothing. September whispered in with crisp edges, Labor Day weekend marking the unofficial end of summer. They celebrated with a road trip to the Columbia River Gorge, windows down, indie folk tunes blasting. At Multnomah Falls, they hiked the misty trail, hands linked, the spray cooling the last embers of doubt. Jordan proposed they move in together, his lease ending, Alex's roommate bailing for grad school. "Build something permanent," he said, mist beating on his lashes. Alex hesitated, the weight of family expectations pressing, but nodded. "Yeah, let's." Back home, integration wasn't seamless. Alex's parents called, probing about his friend from photos Mia had accidentally posted, Jordan's arm around him at a festival. "He seems nice, but..." "Is this serious?" his mom asked, voice thin with unspoken worry. Alex came out in fragments, heart racing. "It's love, Mom. Real love." Silence, then a tentative, "We're happy for you." Slowly. It was progress, fragile as new growth. Jordan's family thawed too, his mom sending a care package of books on queer history. For understanding, the note read. Friendships deepened. Mia and Liam became a platonic quartet, double dates filled with board games and brutal honesty. Even Tyler faded to a polite acquaintance, his texts unanswered. But drama lingered in shadows. At opening night of the play, full house buzzing, a reviewer from the local paper cornered Alex post-show. "Inspiring story. Is it autobiographical? Your boyfriend's quite the method actor." The implication stung, tokenism again, but Jordan, overhearing, shut it down with a gracious deflection, later pulling Alex aside. "Their words don't define us." The review ran positive, hailing Jordan's authentic vulnerability, and ticket sales soared. As leaves turned amber, conflicts arose anew, not from without, but within. Jordan's success brought offers, a short film in LA, callbacks for bigger stages. "It's a chance," he said over dinner at their new shared apartment, takeout ties steaming between them. Alex's smile faltered. "And us?" "Portland." The argument simmered low, Alex voicing the fear of being left behind, Jordan countering with dreams deferred too long. "I won't choose. We'll figure it." Nights grew tense, silences punctuated by tentative touches. The climax hit on a rainy November eve, Jordan's decision deadline looming. Alex, working late, came home to find suitcases half-packed, Jordan pacing. "I turned it down," he blurted. "The film. Because without you, it's hollow." Relief flooded Alex, but anger followed. "You should have talked to me. Not decided alone." Voices rose, hurts unearthed. Alex's abandonment scars from a father's emotional distance. Jordan's terror of repeating his parents' loveless marriage. I can't lose you, Jordan choked. Then don't decide for me, Alex replied, soft now. They collapsed onto the floor, entwined, tears mingling as truth surfaced. In the aftermath, growth bloomed. They attended couples counseling at a queer center, sessions peeling back layers like onion skins. Friendships fortified. Mia's gallery opening, where Alex curated a queer-lit display, drawing crowds and quiet pride. Prejudices confronted. A homophobic heckler at a street fair met with Jordan's calm eloquence, turning confrontation to conversation. Winter solstice brought renewal. Under twinkling lights at a holiday market, Jordan knelt, not with a ring, but a key, to our future, wherever it leads. Alex laughed through tears, pulling him up for a kiss that tasted of pine and promise. The summer's pretend had forged something enduring, love tempered by fire, resilient against storms. As snow dusted Portland's bridges, they walked home arm in arm, the city a canvas of possibilities. No more games, only the raw beauty of two souls choosing each other, day by glittering day.